Welcome back to Flores and Friends, and we do a segment, we haven't done this in a while, called Reflections. It's kind of like oxymoron comments. You know, something is like almost opposite of what it is. And these are supposed to be some oxymoron statements that were by famous people. Now, some of them I actually never heard of, but we'll say them anyway, Jimmy. Clara Barton, she says, I distinctly remember forgetting that.
Forget about it.
Our buddy Donald Trump, his oxymoron comment was, a budget was unlimited, but I overspent it.
Bad credit.
Edna St. Vincent Millay, I hate people, but I love gatherings. Irene Peters says, always be sincere, even when you don't mean it.
Always lie.
Josh Billings, live within your income, even if you have to borrow to do so.
Loan sharks.
Mark Twain said, it usually takes more than 3 weeks to prepare a good impromptu speech.
It takes you a lot longer.
Sometimes. W.C. Fields, the best cure for insomnia is to get a lot of sleep.
Especially when we share a hotel because of your stupid CPAP machine.
Yogi Berra says, why don't you pair up in threes? Winston Churchill said, I always avoid prophesying beforehand because it's much better to prophesy. Let me start over.
Okay.
Winston Churchill says, I always avoid prophesying beforehand because it's much better to prophesy after the event has already taken place.
That's kind of like me trying to understand what you just said.
You got it, buddy. That's Reflections. And so another feature we do here at Flores and Friends is called the Top Ocho Plus Two. And you know how it is. Donald Trump goes ahead and it seems every week he has something going on and he gets away with saying things. And I don't know what's going to happen this week, Jimmy. It just seems like every week there's something new and everyone just kind of goes, oh, that's just Donald. So we thought of the top 10 things if Donald Trump did a particular job, what would he get away with? All right, number 10. If Trump was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, he'd get away with telling Kanye to shut his pie hole.
Shut your pie hole, Kanye!
Number 9, if Trump was running for president, he'd actually get away with promising to build a wall and then never actually building it.
He's already done that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Number 8, if Trump was president, he'd get away with a government shutdown.
He's done that too.
Yes. Number 7, if Trump worked at a pizza place, he'd get away with charging you $10 for that same pizza on $6 Tuesday.
Pizza.
If Trump was a therapist, he'd get away with telling his patients, it's all the Democrats' fault.
Democrats.
If Trump was Santa Claus, he'd hire someone else to do the work and then not pay them.
So he'd hire Mexicans as elves and then have them make toys, then deport them later.
It's messed up, big time. If Trump was a reporter, he'd get away with reporting fake news.
Like this.
Number 3, if Trump was a Walmart greeter, he'd get away with saying, screw you at the door.
I'd do that.
I know. If Trump was a cable TV installer, he'd get away with being at happy hour while you were waiting between the hours of 3 and 6. And the number 1 reason if Trump had another job, what he would get away with, if Trump was a Jehovah's Witness, he'd get away with never knocking on someone's door. And that's the Top Ocho Plus Two. Back with more Flores and Friends in a minute.